Back on the John Fredericks Radio Network live in Richmond today in your state capital in response to yesterday's D.C. Circuit Court decision largely upholding the Federal Communications Commission's 2017 Restoring Internet Freedom Order. The Small Business and Entrepreneurship Council, that's the SBE Council, and their president and CEO, Kerrigan, has issued a statement, and we want to get her take on this whole thing. Joining us now is their CEO of SBE, Kerrigan. Karen, thank you for your patience. Sorry you were on hold a while. Great to have you with us.
Oh, great to be here, John. Thank you for having me.
So, Karen, break down for our audience, what was the ruling yesterday, and how does it impact average Americans?
Well, this is very, very important ruling. The D.C. Circuit Court, it upheld an order by the FCC called the Restoring Internet Freedom Order. And what that order did is it reversed the Obama-era rules and regulations that would have regulated the Internet like a public utility, like a 1930s-style public utility. And our concern during that period of time was the impact on investment, access to broadband. Basically, ISPs, both large, medium, and small, being overregulated to an extent that it really would have been harmful for the entire Internet ecosystem. So the Restoring Internet Freedom Order was put into place by Ajit Pai. Activists who opposed it said the Internet would explode and, what would break loose. But just the opposite happened, of course. $3 billion in new investment. Broadband speeds are higher. And so the D.C. Circuit Court pretty much said what the FCC did, they had the authority to do so, and that the broadband Internet, mobile broadband, can basically the order is a good one. And so we're really excited about this. It's important for our economy, innovation, and obviously the future of broadband for consumers, entrepreneurs, and small businesses.
What were the downsides of net neutrality?
Well, the big downside, obviously, the Internet has been a magnificent innovation. I mean, look at everything that the Internet has meant for our economy, for entrepreneurship, for innovation, the benefits to consumers. And this intrusive type of regulation, just the cloud and the weight and the red tape that it would impose upon this ecosystem and the ISPs, just the disincentive for investment and for more innovation and for bringing broadband to the people who don't have it, high quality broadband, and that's exactly what happened when the Obama era FCC imposed net neutrality. There was a big drop off in broadband investment, and so thankfully, the timing is right, where the new FCC chairman, Ajit Pai, came in during the Trump administration and reversed this order. It would have not been the Internet as we know it now. We wouldn't have seen the type of speeds, the innovations. I mean, look what everyone is doing from a mobile broadband perspective. Look at 5G. I mean, 5G would have been really behind in terms of where it is right now because there is the incentive for ISPs to invest. And also, most ISPs in this country are small. These are the small providers are providing rural America and underserved areas with the broadband that they need. And it would have imposed the same heavy regulatory framework on these small providers as they would have the large providers. So we would have seen a lot more concentration, less choice for consumers, just all the bad things that happen when government imposes heavy regulation on an industry or a sector.
So I know you guys were opposed to net neutrality, and of course, by the way, it's one of those names that sounds great, doesn't it? Yeah. Would you like net neutrality? Sure. I like neutral. I like net neutrality, but in reality, it's not. It's the exact opposite. What you said, it's like regulating it like in 1930s. Remember we used to have the old phone company. What was it called? Mob Bell, right?
Yeah, exactly. We could have been moving back towards that model if we had concentration in the industry. And I'm telling you, the regulation was so heavy-handed that a lot of these small ISPs, even large ISPs, there would have been an incentive, to merge and to get bigger And when that happens, you do, and there's less freedom to innovate, obviously less choice and less innovation in an industry. So, it does. The net neutrality, it sounds really, really, really nice, right? But this order also had pretty tight transparency rules in terms of, people don't want throttling, they don't want blocking. But, John, when the FCC, the Obama FCC moved forward with this regulation, there was no problem in the marketplace to actually solve. They were saying, well, this could happen, and, this might happen. But there wasn't a problem to solve in the marketplace. The Internet was working fine. And all the innovation, and we got broadband, and then we're moving to mobile. So
it was about exerting government control over it, and it was really billed as something else. It's kind of like the New Green Deal, right? The real reason they have the New Green Deal is to go to a socialist, communist command economy. I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. It all leaked out, but yet they sell it to you as saving the planet, because if we don't do it, we're all going to die. But that's not the objective. The objective of Obama's net neutrality was for the government to gain exerted control over the Internet, which is now free, Wild West. People do what they want. And as you say, it does bring in investment and a lot of entrepreneurs getting involved in it because it's not regulated. And at the end of the day, I mean, if you look, you install a service now, and you have the choices of how much of how much broadband you want to buy, and if you want faster, you spend more money. If you don't need it that fast, you don't spend money.
That's right, and
that's choice.
It is choice.
I mean, to turn around and say everybody has to have the same speed. Well, everybody maybe doesn't want the same speed.
Well, exactly, and the problem with the Obama era regulation was that the broadband providers, the ISPs. I mean, you'd have to really go to the FCC for permission to innovate, to introduce all these new products and services. And obviously if you do have this type of concentration, well, look, it would be sort of like Obamacare for the Internet, right? Higher prices, less competition, you're paying more for less access to healthcare. Well, that's the same sort of thing that would happen on the Internet. And, but thankfully, once, Ajit Pai, the FCC chairman, who's restoring Internet freedom order, took hold, fiber deployment, hit record highs in 2018. Broadband capital investment increased by $3 billion. Internet speeds up, downloads and uploads. And of course now you have 5G and just a lot of the innovations and the choices. You're right. You can pick and choose what you want, and that's only going to get better. So, this would have been really horrible for the Internet, and thankfully there was a new direction at the FCC in 2016 that reversed these Obama regulations.
Well, so a very favorable ruling. We're with Kerrigan. Karen is the president and CEO of the SBE Council, and the SBE is the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Council. I don't even know we had one of those councils. I like that council, the SBE Council, because I would fall into the small business and entrepreneurship category, Karen.
That's right. We're fighting for you, John, and all those entrepreneurs out there. We have 100,000 members, and they're very engaged in our work. And
we should be a member.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. And, obviously this sector is really important for job creation and innovation, and they dominate every single sector. Whenever the regulators or the government talks about, regulating big oil, big telecom, big healthcare, big pharma, small businesses dominate, every single one of those sectors.
What do small businesses now, they account for 80% of all the new hires in America?
That's right. That's
78, almost 80% of all new hires, all new jobs, not obviously existing jobs, new jobs in the past 5 years since the president has been there, the past 3 years, 80% have been small businesses classified as 50 employees or under. So we're driving it. And we just want freedom. We want lower taxes. We want low regulation. We want to be unencumbered. And I was saying the other day, we made the decision to invest in $15,000 of new equipment that we wouldn't have done without A, the Trump tax cut, and B, the fact they can all be written off in the first year. I mean, these are huge. These impact decisions that small companies make that, the Democrats just will never understand it because they never signed the front of a paycheck in their life.
And you're sounding just like one of our members, John. So
I
we
should
look
be
forward
a
to
member.
having you.
All right, Karen Kerrigan, thanks for being with us. Enjoyed it.
Take care.
John Fredericks Radio Network, trucking the truth across America.